The future of Galaxy's Edge has been in question recently, especially with the success of The Mandalorian. So will Disney decide to retheme Galaxy's Edge and avoid the sequels at all costs? Or will they stick to what they have now and hope for the best? Let's talk about what's in store for the future of Galaxy's Edge. Hello everyone and welcome back to Disney 24/7 here. It's Disney all the time. Just about a year ago today on May the 4th, 2020, I had discussed the complete history of Galaxy's Edge. In that video, I'd also talked about what I wanted to see come to Galaxy's Edge going forward, which takes us to today where the situation has evolved. Initially, all I had talked about wanting from Galaxy's Edge was the addition of aliens to Batuu, as well as consequences for actions in the land, like we were promised.
This is a living place, a place where your choices matter, and a place where you can even earn a reputation. For example, if you prove to be one of the hottest flight crews in the galaxy, you might find some extra galactic credits coming your way.
But before we start speculating, let's jump into what we know for sure regarding Galaxy's Edge. Thus far, Disney has announced and been working on the new Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. The idea is this hotel will be a completely immersive experience where the guests will actively take part in a series of missions to accomplish while on board. It all starts the moment the guests arrive at the hotel, in which they are shot up into space in a pod to reach the Halcyon, the ship where they will spend their trip on. While on board, each guest and cast member will dress the part and again need to complete a series of missions for the Resistance. At one point during their trip, guests will also fly out to Galaxy's Edge in another pod and enter Batuu from a private entrance for hotel guests only. The whole hotel experience tells us a lot about what to expect and look forward to in the future. Already we've seen tons of concept art for the experience, but Disney recently revealed their next-gen lightsaber as a way to promote the experience, and trust me, this thing looks amazing. As for what else is certain of Galaxy's Edge, we know that there were some cuts from the final plan of Galaxy's Edge, including at least one attraction and a sit-down table service restaurant. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think either of these have been completely scrapped, but we'll elaborate more on that later. The only other announcement Disney has made is that there will be a third Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios at Disneyland Paris. So that is all the information that has been confirmed by Disney. Now, the fun part. The part where we get to speculate and hope and dream, only for our dreams to be crushed in the long run. In all seriousness though, what is in store for this land? Well, I think Disney, and more specifically the Imagineers, are in a bit of a tricky situation here. On the one hand, they just spent the past 6+ years developing this land around the sequel trilogy, and quite honestly, they did a good job all things considered. However, it is well known among the Star Wars community that the sequel movies themselves are very divisive. So wouldn't it make sense for Disney to just switch the time frame of Galaxy's Edge to be around the original trilogy or even The Mandalorian? Well, first, let's take a look at what would have to change if Disney were to change the time frame of Batuu to, let's say, The Mandalorian. First off, Rise of the Resistance as a whole would have to be completely reskinned. New animatronics, new set pieces, new story, all together. That is money that Disney does not wish to spend right now, especially after the pandemic. Smuggler's Run is a little bit easier to work out, but then the question becomes, where's Han Solo if this takes place before the sequels? As for the land itself, because it's a planet not really featured in the movies, it could actually mostly stay the same. Overall, I think it just wouldn't make sense for Disney to retheme something they've been working on and only just recently finished. Well, at least not completely. I think that there are two possible solutions that Disney could pursue if they even want to at all, because honestly, they could just leave it as it is, and then when they hear someone complaining about the sequels, they just throw them in the new Star Wars Trading Outpost, because trust me, there's plenty of Mandalorian stuff in there. But that's the boring answer, so let's get into what Disney could do and what I personally would like to see with Galaxy's Edge going forward. I think their first option is they could actually only just theme one or two of the Galaxy's Edges in the world to be the original trilogy or The Mandalorian. The Paris Galaxy's Edge hasn't even been built yet, and only retheming one of the ones already built would save money. Disney has recently been trying to create an appeal to visit different parks around the world by creating diversity with their attractions, and well, this certainly would distinguish Batuu West from Batuu East. The second option, and the one that I would actually prefer, would be to separate the land into different parts. The Resistance Forest, where Rise of the Resistance is, could stay as is and be the sequel section of Galaxy's Edge, while actual Black Spire Outpost with the Marketplace and Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run could be rethemed to be either the original trilogy or the Mandalorian. I honestly think that this is the best compromise. This way Disney doesn't have to spend a boatload of money to essentially redo Rise of the Resistance, and people who don't enjoy the sequels as much could go see Mando or Darth Vader walking around. I honestly think that would be sick. Disney could still keep the idea that the land is canon as well. You would just essentially have to jump time frames from one section of the land to the other. As for when this could happen, I'll be honest, probably not for another 5 years. I think the best time Disney could make this switch to have a hybrid of timelines could be when they eventually decide to expand Galaxy's Edge. There is expansion land right behind the current First Order Cargo and Smuggler's Run section of the park. And when they build it, they could build it straight away into the original trilogy or the Mandalorian time frame. This would be where I think they could put the scrapped attraction and the sit-down restaurant that was in the initial plans for Galaxy's Edge. As for what I would still like to see happen to the land regardless, I think that aliens and droids are a necessity. But with the recent steps Imagineering has been taking, for example with the autonomous walking Groot animatronic, I think they're definitely on the right track for this to eventually become a reality at Galaxy's Edge. But that's about it for what I would like to see come out of Galaxy's Edge in the years ahead. I think no matter what, Star Wars fans will definitely have something to look forward to coming out of that land. That being said, what do you guys think? Is this idea way too crazy, or maybe just crazy enough to work? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, really quick before you click away, it's been a while since I've mentioned that I do actually have an Instagram account for this channel, so I thought I would let you guys know really quick. Put the link down in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe as it really does help the channel out, and thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all again really soon.
Sir. Have you found the Resistance spy, Lieutenant?
Not yet, sir. But we have dispatched reconnaissance units.
The spy was tracked here. And if she is here, the Resistance could be here. You were sent to find her.